But so basically, what I'd love to hear about is how you come to your essentially come to your pitches, what drives them, and what your thoughts are about storytelling, whether it's an integral part of business or how it plays into your pitches.
And I'm doing this as the investor, as the entrepreneur?
As the guy who gets up there and talks in front of tens, fifties, and hundreds and thousands of people.
Well, I mean, it might be a little bit different from my perspective right now, but I'll talk about what I think entrepreneurs should be talking about when they're doing their pitch.
Sure, perfect.
So I wrote a blog post about basically pitching your problem, not your solution, which the title of it, I believe, is something about your solution is not my problem, I believe was the title of it. So I think that it's easier for people to connect around the problem that they're solving, not around their solution to the problem. So I always tell entrepreneurs to talk about the problem first, and then talk about the solution maybe. Because usually it's much easier to say, my problem is I had a broken arm and I wanted to get to the hospital quicker, or I needed some, morphine or pain reliever or something, right? And you'll find that a lot of people connect with a broken arm, right? They either have had a broken limb, or have had a parent, or a sibling, or a friend, or a child that's had a broken limb, and the reaction to that problem is then very personal, very visceral. They experience it, right? And then it's almost that the solution doesn't really have as much impact as their experience of the problem, right? And so usually what you're trying to do is get permission to have longer than a 30-second conversation. And so the initial pitch is really not what you're going to do to solve the problem, it's the problem. And hopefully you can connect with someone who's had that problem. Now really, when you're saying the problem, what you're really doing is it's a proxy for the customer and the solution space that you're going after. So it may not work if your problem is extremely narrow or with an audience that's not the same set of people that you listen to, but a lot of stuff that I do is around consumer startups or small businesses, and pretty much everybody has a relationship to a consumer or small business product or knows someone who does. So again, for me, the part about telling a story is really starts with what's the problem that I have or I'm trying to solve, and hopefully you share that problem. We connect emotionally around that piece of the problem, and your story is really what's compelling or engaging in the way that you tell them. And if you then have that emotional connection with the person around the problem, you get permission to then talk about the solution. And maybe even they'll offer you their ideas around the solution. So a lot of times it's not even important to get to the full expression of the solution. It's just a way to connect emotionally with the person, on the other side of the table, in the audience, whomever, and then they start actually helping you come up with ideas for the solution.
Because you've gotten their buy-in.
Because you've gotten their buy-in, right.
Fantastic. Excellent. Dave.